Hi everyone, Andrea from Summit Valley Soap here. This is another of our winter soaps. This one's Arctic Goat. I made it last year with a similar color scheme, but a different design. So let me show you how I made this one this time around. It's been a while since I've done a real start to finish video, so I thought I'd show you the whole process and begin with making our lye solution. I measure out the distilled water. This is a layered soap, and I'm going to pour the lye into everything all at once. So I want it to move a little bit slower than my usual layer, so that's why I added some powdered sugar there. I'm dispersing it, letting it dissolve in the water with my mini mixer. I do find that powdered sugar tends to slow trace down at least a little bit. Next, I'm going to measure my lye, and then we'll add it to our sugar water and make our lye solution. I'll blend this until everything is dissolved. It's going to get really hot. Let's check it out. It's about a little over 200 degrees. When I soap with it, I want it to be more like 80 to 90. So we'll set that aside, let it cool down, and now we'll make our oils. This is a 4-oil recipe. It's really simple, and I love it. The 2 solid oils are coconut oil, which I've just measured out there, and shea butter. Now that I have those measured, I'll melt them. I just melt in the microwave. I do it just enough to melt it. I don't get it super hot. And now we'll add our castor oil, just a little bit of that. And the bulk of this recipe, in fact 50%, is olive oil. So that's what we'll add now. And I pour over the shaft of that stick blender, trying to break up any bubbles. We'll blend that. Next up, we're going to get our colorants ready. What I'm going to do, I have 3 colored sections. I'm going to have a white, a dark blue, which I'm going to use Twilight, and Aphrodite for a lighter blue. Those are both from Mad Micas. I have these little cups that I am going to take 2 tablespoons each of the oil, and we'll disperse our colorant in there. And that way it's really blended and fluid. We won't get any flecks of color. Plus it's very easy to add to batter and incorporate. That way we won't be scrambling once we're already working with our soap. Now the white section there, I just added some titanium dioxide. I blended them up with a mini mixer, and like I said, I have these perfect little color solutions just to drop right into the batter. Next, we'll add the fragrance. This is Nurture Soap's Winter Wonderland. It's a really pleasant, crisp fragrance that's very unisex and was really well received last year. Now that that is blended in, let's add some goat milk powder. I almost always do vegan soaps, but I do a few a year with goat milk. I find it's easier just to use the powdered goat milk because I don't have a lot of goat milk lying around, and the powder is really easy to work with. I'll get it incorporated into my oils. And let's see how our lye solution's doing. 87 degrees, perfect, and my oils are 91. We're ready to go. First, I'm going to add a little sodium lactate to the lye solution. Sodium lactate is a liquid salt, and it helps the bars harden up quicker. It makes it a lot easier to get them out of the mold, and I feel like it makes a smoother bar. I'm going to go ahead and add the lye and get this emulsified. I do have to divide it and add colorant, so I do not want to overmix. I know I promised this was a start to finish video, but this next part I actually somehow missed videoing. I don't know if I just didn't hit the button or what, but it's not a big deal. What I did was measure this, divide by 3, and separate it out into 3 different containers. So here's the first one. It's our bottom layer, and I've added our Twilight mica. I'm going to mix this up to a light to medium trace. I want it nice and fluid. There's nothing special about this first layer, you just pour it in. Now this is a Pointy Layers technique, and it's the second layer where you actually really start the process. So now that I have this in, I'm going to add my light blue colorant to the next layer and blend this up. Again, light to medium trace. You want it nice and fluid, not too thick, not too thin. I'm going to add a little titanium dioxide here. It just seems, I'd like a little lighter color basically. All right. And what you're going to do, this seems so simple, you're just going to make lines back and forth. The first time I saw a video of this, I thought, how is this possible? But what's actually happening is as you pour, it's going to push down on the color below, and then it will kind of rise up. And when you get a line on the other side of it, they'll kind of squish together and it'll create these points where it rises up as you pour your other lines. It sounds too good to be true, but it works. And you can kind of see on the top there, you can see the back and forth lines even in that similar colored batter. Now I'm ready for the white layer, and my soap had set up enough I didn't even need my mechanical hand blender. I could just use this one and it was ready to go. I slowed this down so you could see in real time. I do make fairly quick passes, just going back and forth, and here we are speeding it up a little bit. You can see the blue, it's rising up. In fact, the light blue really made some peaks here. And I even thought at the end that I might not get the white completely covered, which I guess would have been fine. But I made a real mess here, and then in the end, I ended up just kind of spooning the last parts out with a spatula. Let me clean this up, and we'll let it sit and check it out the next day. Those little bumps you see there in the middle, this did get pretty hot. Goat milk soaps tend to do that. It did not crack, but it did sort of bubble up in the middle. I'm going to take a vegetable peeler and just go ahead and get all these edges. I think sometimes it's easier to clean it up while it's still one solid loaf. Looks pretty cool from the side, but you never really can see those pointy layers until you really get in there and chop it up. So let's get it on the cutter and see what we're dealing with. All right, looking pretty cool. I love those. Some of those really peaked up. Looks like a dragon or something. Or like ocean waves, really volatile ones. But man, I love the design. It's so pretty, and I love the colors, and the scent is amazing, and it all really goes well together. I'll plane these and bevel these. Get them just perfect. And then what really makes this Arctic goat soap is this cute little goat stamp. The way I do my stamp, I take my soap, I pick the perfect side, and then I cover it up with some cling wrap, press the stamp down, very carefully lift it straight up, peel that off, and there you have it, an adorable little goat. Here's a close-up of one bar. I absolutely adore this fragrance and this design. These will be available in my Etsy shop on November 1st. I may do a pre-sale. You can find me on Etsy at Summit Valley Soap. If I pre-sale, I'll tell everyone about it on Instagram and Facebook, and be sure to follow me on TikTok and like and subscribe while you're here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.